Your relationship
I
there?
always get emotional talking about anything that I do with our royal family because I've always been a huge royalist. I was brought up in a family, in a household that adored and loved everything that came with the royal families.
They make mistakes. Children are allowed to make mistakes. That's how they learn. So that's what I try to teach my kids. But you have to sometimes let them make those mistakes as well.
For years, the Beckham family looked untouchable. Picture-perfect smiles, glamorous events, and that we run the world vibe that made everyone believe nothing could shake them. But now, that golden image is falling apart fast, and the truth spilling out is way wilder than anyone expected. Smack in the center of this chaos, Brooklyn Beckham, his wife Nicola Peltz, and her billionaire dad Nelson Peltz, a man who, according to people close to him, always thought Brooklyn wasn't on his daughter's level. What used to be quiet tension and fake smiles behind mansion doors has now turned into a full-on family showdown, and the claws are out. We're talking about lawyers getting involved, icy statements hitting the media, and awkward silence replacing those once happy family dinners. The bond that once looked unbreakable, it's hanging by a thread. Some say the situation's gone too far to fix, and no one's holding back anymore. Lines have been crossed, egos bruised, and all that perfect family energy gone for good. The burning question now, did Brooklyn really carve out his own lane, or did he just fall deep into the Peltz empire's shadow? Because behind all those dreamy Instagram posts and gushy couple selfies, a power struggle's been brewing for real. The real bombshell dropped when Brooklyn decided to go public, calling out his own parents in a long, emotional social media rant. He claimed David and Victoria Beckham twisted the truth, cared more about their brand than their son, and kept disrespecting his wife, Nicola. It wasn't just family drama anymore. It was an all-out digital war for pride and loyalty. Brooklyn didn't hold back, not for a second. He said what he meant, and there was no room left for anyone to twist his words later. He made it crystal clear that he was riding with Nicola no matter what, and any chance of patching things up with his family, completely gone. The tone of his post stunned everyone. It wasn't just emotional, it was final. No soft talk, no maybe one day we'll fix this, nothing. Just a cold, sharp cut that left fans completely frozen in disbelief. But what really sent jaws dropping came after, because insiders close to the Beckhams revealed that Brooklyn's explosive post didn't just pop up out of thin air. Something serious went down behind the scenes before he took it public. Word is, David and Victoria Beckham had actually sent their son a private, handwritten letter, not through the media, not through middlemen, but straight to him personally. Why? Because by that point, communication inside the family had completely crashed. No calls, no texts, just silence and tension thicker than ever. And here's where things hit another level. Brooklyn allegedly fired back with a cease and desist notice, demanding his parents stop mentioning him publicly and only contact him through lawyers. Imagine that, family love replaced by legal threats. It wasn't just a family argument anymore, it was a courtroom-style standoff, and the whole Beckham world felt the tremors. That one brutal move sent the entire clan into chaos, but according to those close to them, what hurt David and Victoria most wasn't the legal hit, it was who they believed was really behind it. They started to suspect that Brooklyn wasn't calling the shots alone. Rumors say they believed Nicola, and especially her powerful billionaire dad, Nelson Peltz, were the real forces pushing him to cut ties and play hardball. And that letter the Beckhams sent, it wasn't some angry clapback or defensive speech. It was pure heartbreak on paper. Sources say it was emotional, full of love and concern, with no hidden agenda or cold legal tone. No threats, no guilt trips, just two parents desperately begging their son to show one thing, proof that he was truly okay. But instead of bringing the family closer, it blew everything up even more. What was meant to heal ended up reopening every wound they'd tried to hide. Just days later, Brooklyn went off online again, dropping another fiery post that made it crystal clear he wasn't backing down this time. He said he was finally standing his ground, fighting for his own voice, and slamming the rumors that Nicola was secretly pulling the strings. It was bold, chaotic, and impossible to scroll past. The family feud had just gone from quiet tension to total explosion. Brooklyn didn't stop there. He clapped back hard, saying the story had been completely twisted, He claimed Nicola wasn't running his life, it was his own parents who had been in control for years. He said he'd had enough and swore there was no turning back. But that's where things started to split opinions wide open, because while Brooklyn swears he's finally living on his own terms, everything he's done since cutting ties seems to say otherwise. Since the fallout, he's been fully locked into the Peltz world, living in their mansion, moving through their elite circles, and, according to insiders, only communicating with his parents through middlemen now. That's why whispers keep spreading that this isn't just a family tension, it's a full-blown power war. The Beckhams versus the Peltzes, with Brooklyn caught in the middle like a pawn in a billionaire chess game. And the moment that everyone keeps pointing to as the spark that lit it all, the wedding, specifically that now infamous first dance. Brooklyn claimed that during what was supposed to be his romantic spotlight moment with Nicola, his mom suddenly stepped in and took over the floor. He said it left him humiliated and stunned while guests watched in silence. According to him, Nicola ran out of the room in tears right after. That one awkward dance might have been the exact moment the perfect family image cracked and the feud turned into a full-blown firestorm. People might debate what really happened that night, but there's one thing everyone agrees on. That moment changed everything. Witnesses swear the entire vibe of the room flipped in seconds. What started as a night of glam, love, and two families joining forces suddenly shattered into tension you could feel from across the ballroom. That single dance didn't unite the Beckhams and the Peltzes, it split them, leaving behind a wound that's still wide open today. Even those who've tried to stay out of the drama admit that dance wasn't just about music or timing, it was personal. Deep down, it was a clash about emotion, respect, and who really had control. What looked like a sweet mother-son moment on the surface was actually something way heavier, a silent battle over pride and power right there on the dance floor.
Acting or acting? Acting will always be my first love. I've done it since I was 12. It's always my heart, but I love directing so much. It's so different, and I hope I get to continue if I'm lucky enough and do both. Yeah.
For Nicola, insiders say that was the breaking point, the exact moment she decided there was no going back. As soon as the wedding ended, she reportedly made her stance loud and clear. Those close to the couple claim Brooklyn was backed into a brutal corner, keep the peace with his mom or stand by his wife. And from that moment, everyone watching knew which path he chose. In the end, Brooklyn made one decisive move. He picked Nicola. No hesitation, no second guessing. Since then, things between him and his family have gone straight up frosty. Invitations quietly ignored, holidays skipped, and heartfelt texts left on read. The once close Beckham clan barely even speaks now. Insiders say Nicola has stood firm on her boundaries, refusing to attend any event where David and Victoria Beckham might show up. What started as a dance meant to celebrate love ended up drawing a line that no one's dared to cross since. Now, whether you see Nicola's move as protecting her peace or making a power play depends on your point of view, but either way, the outcome is impossible to ignore. Brooklyn Beckham, once the golden child of one of the most famous families on earth, now stands almost completely cut off from the people who built his world. And while Nicola keeps shining under the spotlight, the real power player behind the scenes stays calm, quiet, and calculating, watching everything unfold from the shadows. That player is her father, Nicola Peltz, the billionaire mogul who operates on a whole different level. This man isn't about drama or emotions, he's about control, order, and long-term strategy. Insiders say Nelson has never been particularly impressed by Brooklyn and didn't hide it from those around him. From photography to cooking to lifestyle branding, Nelson reportedly saw Brooklyn's career moves as scattered and lacking focus. To a man like Nelson, that kind of chaos isn't charming, it's a weakness. There were no public insults or shady interviews, just that quiet, cutting kind of doubt that says more than words ever could. And when someone with Nelson's money, status, and influence isn't buying what you're selling, that silence hits harder than any public jab, especially when that same person controls the entire world you've just married into. But here's the detail that's got everyone whispering and seriously questioning Brooklyn's next move. Before the wedding, a rock-solid prenuptial agreement was drawn up, and the rules were ruthless. If the marriage ever crashed, Brooklyn wouldn't see a single penny of the Peltz fortune. Every dollar, every property, every share, off limits. Under that deal, he'd only leave with what he and Nicola built together. Nothing more, nothing less. That clause didn't just spark curiosity, it set off alarms, because this wasn't only about money, it was about control. People close to the situation claim it revealed exactly where the real power sits in this marriage. To some, it looks like smart protection of family wealth, but to others, it screams of dominance and strategy, the kind that makes you wonder who's really running the show behind closed doors. If Brooklyn's marriage ever hit the rocks, the fallout would be nothing short of brutal. After cutting himself off from his parents, he wouldn't just lose his wife, he'd lose every safety net he's ever had. That's what reportedly keeps David and Victoria awake at night, the thought that their eldest son has handed over his entire future to someone else's control. For any parent, that's a nightmare you can't just shake off. Insiders say that worry has been haunting them since the first cracks started showing in the family. But even with all the heartbreak and chaos, those close to the Beckhams swear one thing hasn't changed. The door home is still wide open. Sources say David and Victoria would take Brooklyn back without a single condition. No apology tour, no public statement, no demands, just love, plain and simple. They don't care about saving face, they care about getting their son back. But Brooklyn's stance couldn't be clearer. He says he's got zero regrets. He truly believes he spoke his truth, stood his ground, and walked away with his head held high. Meanwhile, life for the rest of the Beckham clan hasn't slowed down one bit. His siblings are thriving, careers are booming, and the Beckham empire keeps rolling like a machine that never runs out of fuel. But behind all that success, there's still one piece missing: Brooklyn, the golden boy turned ghost of the family. And now voices from his past, friends, mentors, and people who knew him long before the fame or Nicola are stepping up and asking the hard question: is this freedom he's fighting for really freedom, or something else entirely? And here's where it takes an unexpected twist. The most surprising voice to speak out didn't come from the celebrity circle. It came straight from the football world. Brooklyn's former youth coach from his early days at Queen's Park Rangers finally broke his silence, and what he said caught everyone off guard. He didn't bash Brooklyn or throw shade. He actually showed sympathy, but in a way that hit deep. His words carried weight, and for the first time, people started to see Brooklyn's situation through a whole new lens. He didn't take sides, didn't defend David and Victoria, and didn't praise Brooklyn's decisions either. Instead, he shared a perspective that made a lot of people stop and think. The coach painted a picture that wasn't glamorous at all, one filled with pressure, anxiety, and emotional distance hiding behind that perfect family image. What looked like a dream childhood from the outside sounded, in his words, more like a golden cage. According to him, Brooklyn grew up under constant watch. By just 14, he was surrounded by bodyguards 24/7, always protected but never really free. Every move was managed, every outing supervised, every mistake magnified by fame. The coach said the fame and fortune that everyone envied didn't bring peace or balance. It brought non-stop pressure to be flawless. His words peeled back the polished Beckham brand and showed what was really underneath, cracks that had been forming long before Brooklyn ever walked away. Even for someone used to coaching kids from high-profile families, he admitted Brooklyn's situation felt different, almost eerie at times. He never blamed anyone directly, but his message was loud and clear. Brooklyn didn't have a normal childhood. That constant spotlight made him vulnerable. Vulnerable to stress, to influence, and to the belief that the only way to survive is to cut everyone off and start over somewhere else.
We met almost 8 years ago at Coachella.
Yeah, we didn't get along.
Yeah, we didn't get along, but I always thought she was really beautiful, and I think she thought I was handsome. And we didn't really talk. And then, 6 years ago, I came to LA for Halloween, and we started talking at a party, and that's kind of when we that's when I fell in love with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That was all factual.
Yeah. and we've been inseparable since.
And this is where it gets truly uncomfortable. Because when you strip away all the gossip and emotion, one fact stands out like a flashing light. Nicola didn't step away from her world to join Brooklyn's. Brooklyn stepped into hers. She stayed firmly rooted in her powerful family, surrounded by wealth, connections, and stability. She kept her independence, her career, and her control. Meanwhile, Brooklyn drifted further from the structure he was born into. He let go of the Beckham safety net, the fame, the family traditions, the built-in protection, and replaced it all with a single anchor, the Peltz empire. Every part of his life, from his home to his social circle, now revolves around Nicola's world. That shift didn't just change his address, it completely flipped the power balance of his entire life. Now, even those who once supported his independence are starting to whisper, did Brooklyn really find freedom, or did he just trade one kind of control for another? The question hanging in the air is chilling. Can he ever find his way back to balance, or has he given up too much to ever truly stand on his own again? The Peltz household, that's where the real imbalance sits, and it's what's got everyone talking. Not because Nicola's some villain or because Brooklyn's weak, but because isolation changes everything. When your whole emotional world gets tied to one person or one powerhouse family, the balance shifts fast. Their influence starts to grow quietly, without a single word needing to be said. And that kind of silent control, it can be more powerful than anything shouted in public. Through all this chaos, one person has stayed completely quiet: Nicola Peltz. No denials, no interviews, no fiery statements defending his son-in-law, just total, calculated silence. But with Nelson, silence isn't a lack of interest, it's a move straight out of his playbook. People who've worked with him describe him as razor-sharp, brutally strategic, and completely unmoved by fame or flash. In his world, charm doesn't count, results do. Insiders say Nelson sees Brooklyn as gifted but lost, someone with potential, sure, but no clear direction. They claim he still leans on the Beckham name more than he even realizes, and that's something Nelson can't overlook. When a billionaire like Nicola Peltz quietly decides what he thinks of you, that opinion doesn't fade. It sets the tone behind every closed door. His word might not be loud, but it carries power that can shift entire dynamics. Now, that judgment might not be totally fair, but in elite circles, fairness doesn't matter as much as perception, and perception is everything. Insiders say Nelson's doubts have only grown as the public feud between Brooklyn and his parents keeps making headlines, because in high society, cutting ties with your own family doesn't scream independent, it screams unstable. It sparks whispers in boardrooms, questions at private dinners, and quiet doubts about loyalty and long-term reliability. But beneath all that family tension, another issue is quietly shaping the story: Brooklyn's ongoing identity crisis with his career. One minute he's a photographer, the next he's a chef, then a lifestyle influencer, and after that, something new again. Every pivot draws public side-eye, and according to insiders, raises eyebrows inside the Peltz circle too. Some reportedly worry he's still searching for what actually defines him, not just as a Beckham or a Peltz, but as his own man. And that uncertainty, it's the one thing money, fame, and family power can't fix. While David Beckham built his empire brick by brick with focus, discipline, and years of consistent grind, Brooklyn's journey looks way more unpredictable. His path's been filled with trial and error, constant reinvention, and projects that never seem to fully land. To outsiders, it feels like he's still figuring out who he really is. And for a powerhouse family like the Peltzes, who live and breathe structure, control, and clear results, that kind of chaos doesn't exactly inspire confidence. That clash between the two families isn't just dramatic, it's defining. On one side, you've got the Beckhams, built on loyalty, legacy, and staying power. On the other, the Peltzes, ruled by strategy, dominance, and leverage. It's not just a cultural difference, it's two worlds running on completely different rules. And when those collide, sparks aren't optional, they're inevitable. Insiders say Nelson Peltz has never been fully convinced that Brooklyn brings enough to the table, financially, strategically, or symbolically. To Nelson, value isn't about love or fame, it's about power and positioning. That's the lens he sees everything through. And according to people close to him, that's exactly where the imbalance starts to show. Brooklyn might have the name, but Nelson got the control, and that quiet tension has reportedly shaped every interaction behind closed doors. Meanwhile, people close to David and Victoria Beckham swear this version of their son didn't just appear overnight. It crept in slowly. At first, it was small things. Choices Brooklyn used to make freely suddenly had to be checked somewhere else. Conversations with him started sounding filtered, like every line had been approved before being spoken. And the most telling shift of all, private family talks that used to be warm and casual started going through lawyers. Those in the Beckham circle insist Brooklyn wasn't always distant. He used to defend his parents, not describe them like strangers. Somewhere along the way, they say, his tone changed, and so did the story he told about his upbringing. To them, that switch didn't come from maturity, it came from influence. Brooklyn, of course, completely denies that version of events. He's called it false from top to bottom, saying he's just finally living his truth without interference. But even his fiercest supporters admit the timing's hard to ignore, because the closer he got to Nicola, the further he seemed to drift from David and Victoria.
Everything about an appearance of a character is so important to me and so interesting and just such a massive part of a character development process for me. So when we were doing fittings with Luke, we tried on bikinis that were just the top and then like a girl bikini or little shorts. And we tried all of it. And I wanted Luke as the actor to feel really comfortable. And so we came to this we kept talking about it. We're like, what feels comfortable to you? What do you think Arlo would wear? And I wanted him to have a real hand in that and have his say in it as well. And so, Arlo wears these little tank tops that were once Lola's that now fit him perfectly. And so it's like he's wearing Lola's hand-me-downs, but then he wears his own sneakers but he always has his like little Arlo necklace on.
And here's where things get even more telling. It's not only about who's fighting in this feud, but who's staying silent. Those missing voices might be holding the real answers to how this family divide truly began. Brooklyn's siblings have stayed tight with David and Victoria, still posting family photos, celebrating birthdays, and showing that same love publicly without ever breaking the bond. They've each built their own lives and careers while keeping that connection strong. And that's exactly what's fueling the constant whispers. Maybe this whole situation isn't about some deep family issue at all. Maybe it's something personal, something unique to Brooklyn himself. That's where the uncomfortable question hits. If the Beckham home was really as strict and controlling as Brooklyn's claimed, then why was he the only one to walk away completely and do it so publicly? Some people praise him for standing up for himself, saying he's finally living authentically and refusing to be defined by his famous parents. But insiders tell a darker version of that story. Behind the scenes, the emotional toll has been brutal. The distance, the tension, the silence. It's left marks that no amount of spotlight can hide. No more random calls, no easy Sunday dinners, no quiet catch-ups, just silence and paperwork. Every interaction between Brooklyn and his family now runs through layers of formality, managed like a business transaction. And once relationships reach that stage, fixing them isn't just hard, it's almost impossible. Most celebrity family fallouts eventually follow a predictable path. A big blow-up, a few months of silence, and then a tearful reunion. But this one, it's rewriting the playbook entirely. Because this fight isn't only emotional, it's structural. It's two powerhouse families with completely different foundations, two clashing value systems, and one son trapped in between, trying to survive the pull from both sides. And the longer this Cold War drags on, the clearer it becomes that this damage might not just fade, it might be permanent. That's what makes this feud so heavy. It's not about one wedding dance or a single family argument. It's about power, control, and who really gets to steer the direction of Brooklyn Beckham's life. It's about influence so deep it reshapes loyalty, and about a young man who, somewhere between two dynasties, might have lost his footing trying to find freedom. The battle lines are drawn, and while both families keep smiling for the cameras, everyone watching knows the truth. What's broken here goes far beyond fame. It's personal, it's painful, and it's not healing anytime soon. And now, the biggest question of all hangs heavy in the air. What happens if Brooklyn ever wants to come back? Walking away feels bold and freeing when you believe you're right, but turning back around, that's a whole different kind of battle. It takes humility, real accountability, and a whole lot of forgiveness from both sides, and right now, none of that seems anywhere close to happening. Sources say David and Victoria Beckham are still holding on to hope, keeping that door wide open for their son. But insiders claim that same open-hearted energy doesn't stretch to everyone tangled in this feud. Even if Brooklyn suddenly wanted to rebuild things tomorrow, the path home wouldn't be smooth, and it definitely wouldn't be guaranteed. Too many harsh words, too many public blows, and too much pride now sit between them. Every message, every silence, every post feels like it carries a price. And that's where the story takes another twist, because people are quietly wondering, would Nicola even want him to come back? If Brooklyn had a change of heart tomorrow, would she stand by his side in making peace, or see it as a step backward? And then there's the question that looms even larger. Would Nelson Peltz, the silent force in the background, ever allow that door to open again? He's not the type to backtrack or soften, and that's what's got people convinced this divide might not just be emotional, it might be permanent. Right now, it feels like there are two Beckhams, one family moving forward together, tight-knit and unstoppable, and one man standing apart, determined, proud, but undeniably alone. Brooklyn keeps saying he has zero regrets, insisting he did what he had to do for love and for himself. Meanwhile, David and Victoria, ever the parents who built their world on loyalty and image, reportedly say they'll wait, no matter how long it takes, no matter how deep the silence gets. The world's watching and wondering, will time heal what pride destroyed, or has the Beckham legacy lost its brightest sun for good? And through it all, Nicola Peltz stands firm, the one constant in the chaos, calm but commanding, always at the center of the storm. Whether she's fiercely protecting her marriage or subtly shaping the narrative from behind closed doors depends on who you ask, but one thing's for sure, Brooklyn Beckham's world will never be the same again. The line between the life he left behind and the empire he's now part of has blurred so much it might never be redrawn. For Brooklyn, there may be no clean way back, only the reality of what he's chosen and who he's become. This saga has evolved into something far bigger than fame. It's about power, loyalty, and the dangerous collision between love and legacy. It's a story of influence, family pride, and what happens when emotions mix with empires. Every move, every silence, every headline adds another layer to the storm that just won't die down. And if you're hooked on the drama, you're in the right place. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. What's your take on the Beckham-Peltz feud? Do you think there's still hope for peace, or has this rift gone too deep to fix? Stay locked in, because new celebrity deep dives are dropping fast right here on Cloutia. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.